Hey there, everybody. If you didn't know who I was, my name's Kyle Cotton. I'm the lead developer on making a Blue Dude in the Quest of Reality and Time. This is a look back on the last year, because coming up on July 1st will mark a year of us being a development, or at least me being a game developer, I will say, because I started on the Blue Dude prototype before some of my friends joined me to make Blue Dude in the Quest of Reality and Time. I'm going to show you a clip of that prototype and go over why I made a prototype to begin with, and my experience being a game developer over the last year, and the ups and downs and my hurdles, so maybe it'll help you become a developer if you're looking into it. Alrighty folks, here is a look at the Blue Dude prototype, Blue Dude in the Quest for Chocolate Milk. The reason why I made this was because I wanted to test myself and make sure I could actually stick through it, and I needed to learn the Steam API and all this other stuff. But more importantly, I wanted to test different engines. I landed on Game Maker for a couple different reasons. One, I liked its licensing, it was very straightforward and fair. I knew GML was going to be a little bit more easy to learn for my other friends that were going to be joining me, because I did ask them to join me after I made this. So we landed on Game Maker. I would recommend it to folks that are just starting off. I find it to be a little bit easier than Unity or Godot, but I'm not straying away from that. I actually knew C# before going into this, so I had a little bit of a heads up, if you will. But if you don't have any programming experience, don't let that stray you from starting in game development. You can learn along the way. There's lots of internet tutorials now. I mean, we live in the day of the internet, so there's nothing you can't do. It's really up to your limitations and how far you're willing to push yourself. With all that being said, here's what I struggled with the most over the last year. The first thing would be the struggling to understand that my product is just as good as any others. I just need a little bit more confidence in my game. As when you're first starting off, you're going to realize that your game doesn't look good and it's not matching what you're envisioning in your mind, and that sets in a little bit of self-doubt. You're looking at all these other indie developers possibly, because I look at a lot of other developers for inspiration and also troubleshooting, because a lot of the times you're going to run into a bug and it's going to be more or less a bug related to your game, not the engine, not the code, but something specifically with your gameplay's mechanics, which happened quite a bit to Blue Dude. I have fixed those things, but in the meantime I've seen all these other indie devs that are being a little bit more successful, the games are more rounded. Well, they've been in development longer than I have, and I just didn't realize that because I'm looking at them, comparing it to where my game's at now, not comparing it to where my game will be. The footage you're seeing behind me is actually gameplay of it currently today. The game has changed over the last year in ways that I can't even explain. It is unfathomable to me how far we've come from the prototype I made to this actual almost finished product. I say almost finished, we're still got plenty of development left to do, but I'm just astonished at how far we've come and what I've been able to do myself and push my boundaries and my limitations. So you're looking at the game in its most current state. It's changed drastically, and the other thing I want to tell you is that it's okay to change your game over time. I didn't know that that was what I wanted to do with this game, and it's changed so much, and I'm very proud of what we've made. So don't be scared to change your game up while you're forming it. It's perfectly fine, and I think normal. I muted the gameplay because the talking has little typing text, and that's not really fun for a long format video. I typically don't do long format videos. I'm more of a short format person. I don't know if I'll do long format in the future, but I wanted to do this to put it out there on the internet and let somebody else know that, hey, if you're just getting into game development, that it's both hard, but it's equally rewarding, and that it's going to be stressful for you, but if it's something you're really determined to do, then you're going to do it, and I wish you the best of luck. My advice would be is to reach out to peers, friends, social media, other developers if you're getting stuck, and just to ask for some help or guidance or some advice. I've done that, and I've met some amazing people. I've also partnered with some YouTubers, some streamers, and it's been amazing. They've given me valid feedback, and the most rewarding thing to me is that when these people tell me that they like my game and they can't wait for it to come out, it melts my heart, honestly, because this game means a lot to me, and it means a lot to my friends too. I know they're mostly in it for me, but I know they enjoy the process, and I'm sure they're proud of where they've come. I'm proud of them for doing this. The other thing that changed over the course of the year is the story of Blue Dude. As I read it more and got more involved with it and changed it over time, because I realized that there are certain story arcs or lines that I didn't want to follow anymore, is that it evolved into something that I wasn't expecting. So the basic concept of Blue Dude is that he's a sprite trapped within a video game, not knowing he's not real. He thinks he's as real as us, but he's not, of course, because he's just a sprite. The game goes into my personal life and the tragedies I faced, such as grief, addiction, and things like that. So the game has some very strong themes. Later on in the game, and I'm not trying to spoil too much here, you uncover that the game was always about grief to begin with, and the way we handle that as humans. I don't think it's talked about enough, and I wanted to create a game based upon that, where I was struggling in my personal life at the time. It was hard to write, and it's been a struggle over the year. I have good friends like my friend Spencer, John, and Spartan helping me make this game, and they understand how important it is. And it's okay if your game have these heavy themes. I think that the players will appreciate it, and I think it's all something we can connect with, because we're all humans, right? We're going to face the same things, maybe not the exact same challenges, but we're all going to have to deal with loss and grief and mental health and awareness, and that's what this game is about, silently. It's very symbolic in different ways. The other thing I wasn't expecting being a first-time game developer is that there's this overwhelming sense of community amongst other developers. Many of them have been very kind and supportive of me, and when I've asked for advice or what to do next, they're more than willing to help. Now, granted, they can't specifically say what to do with my game. I mean, some of them have given me great advice on what to do in my game, or what styles I should do and what I should talk about more. But definitely reach out. The community is vast, it's big, Reddit is good for it, TikTok's great, YouTube's been great. But reach out to people. You might get told no a lot, or you might not get any responses, but reach out. The last thing I wanted to touch on is you're going to get stuck at some point in time, and it's going to frustrate you. At least it frustrated me. Is take copious amounts of notes, leave it, come back later, study up, look at other games, go play games, and then maybe that'll inspire you to fix where you're stuck at. Whether it's with coding and something you don't understand, whether it's you're learning the Steam API and you don't understand how achievements work. That bothered me for the longest time, and then I found out it was just stupid simple, and it was me overcomplicating it. Just walk away and come back to it later. That's all I have on the side of how to become a game developer. I mean, I didn't really tell you how, but it's my experience of it. It was very hard and difficult for me to get started, but once I got that ball rolling and started putting more hours in, it became easier and easier. And I encourage you, just put time in, whether it's an hour a day, 2 hours a day, maybe it's an hour a week, whatever your timeline looks like, whatever your life can do, just do it if that's what you're wanting to do. The last thing I want to do is I want to thank the people that have helped me throughout the year. One of them is Jeremy Wilkes. He is one of my team members at work. He supported me from the start with this when we went on Kickstarter. I also want to thank the Desk Agent, of course my friends John, Spencer, and Spartan for helping me make this, Shellicus on TikTok for the music, Mac, my good friend from the past, who's also supporting me with some music, Mimpy for his tutorials on YouTube, and various other game studios like Two Brain Games, Samuel, the Fulbright Company, many other studios that have reached out to me or given me advice. I appreciate you all. If this is the first time you've heard of us, we are 763 Industries on everything. I hope you consider subscribing to our YouTube channel here, where I'll mostly upload shorts and things like that, but we're also on TikTok, Blue Sky, basically 763 Industries on everything. So I hope you guys follow along as we make Blue Dude into the game that we want it to be, and I celebrate being a game developer for the first time. It's been a really weird ride, but I super appreciate it.